Hello and welcome to Retrotainment. Back here with my co-host, capital C, capital O, Greg. How are you doing, buddy?
What's the story, homie?
Nothing much, nothing much. Just continuing on with our Halloween films here. A real
As we
classic
do.
here, real
This
classic here in this one now.
this is a proper classic.
Yeah, one that's
This
not
is a,
not scary, but it's just the way they are is very Halloweeny, isn't it?
yeah, it's like same as the monsters, isn't it?
Very similar.
Um,
Monsters is probably a bit more comedy base, maybe.
yeah, a little bit more, but this one it's kind of that similar style though.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, brilliant,
Been
brilliant
re
movie. This
been redone a couple of times. It's being redone currently in a animated format, which isn't awful either.
that animated one, the first one wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's very similar to this one though. It's nearly most of it like Fester going and coming back.
Yeah,
Is very similar to this.
yeah. I think it was probably based off this one, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, with a bit more put into it, and it has
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg in it.
yeah. Obviously released on the 13th of December in 1991 over
My,
here in Ireland.
my birthday.
Yeah, a good film to have coming out on your birthday there, that isn't it?
It's a strange one for Christmas, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you would expect it to be out that little bit earlier, but it
Uh,
also, I suppose, it technically kind of starts at Christmas as well.
well, yeah,
Because
I
the opening
suppose
scene is all the Christmas carolers, and they pour well, you don't see what they pour on them, but they obviously pour something over them.
they pour the title credits on them.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a strange one to come out then, really, because it's not really a Christmas movie. There's no, apart from
no,
that,
yeah,
there's
that
no
like that. That's
real
it. Yeah.
thing like where you have the likes of say a Die Hard or Gremlins or things like that. It's all based around Christmas.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just that little one scene at the start, and they obviously just wanted to have a reason for them to have people outside the front door to be pouring stuff down. So
Which makes sense, yeah.
yeah,
Well, the only time anyone's going to come to your door was back then. Was
Christmas and Halloween, and they'd
Yeah,
obviously love Halloween. So
yeah, you definitely won't be going to this house on Halloween.
well, some people do, but they don't last too long.
Yeah, I suppose.
Um, Always just take a quick look at the ratings. So 48 critics on Rotten Tomatoes give it 65%, and then an audience score of 66,
About,
which
about
is
right, probably.
probably about right. Like the film's nothing spectacular. Like I love it, but
It's a cult classic, is what it is.
yeah, like it's the Addams Family. You kind of love it, but the film isn't must see either.
No, if you hadn't seen it, you're probably not going to go and watch it now. No, the three of them are on Netflix, so it's handy enough to watch now.
Yeah, handy enough to watch them now.
Um,
Huge box office though, 191.5 million.
wow.
I didn't think it was going to be that high. That's
Well,
a really good box office.
I know the '60s TV show was very popular.
Yeah, see, I think that's where it comes from. Is the
It
fact
had a
that
lot of that age group.
not even just that age group. I think people they already knew the Addams Family, so they already had a love for it and a
Yeah,
nostalgia for it, so they were willing to go to it. Like,
yeah. And Barry Sonnenfeld's a good director as well.
yeah, I think the casting in this is done brilliantly as well.
Oh, 100%. Like Christopher Lloyd doesn't look at like Christopher Lloyd from like
No,
Back to the Future. At
you'd forget it's Christopher Lloyd, wouldn't
as
you,
soon
as
as soon
Fester?
as he starts talking, though, you're like, yeah,
Yeah, and some of his mannerisms when
yeah,
he's proper Fester, some of
yeah.
his mannerisms are very Christopher Lloydy. But uh,
Raul Julia is brilliant.
yeah,
Um,
I
and
think all the casting is brilliant for this.
Angelica Houston's a great actress as well.
Yeah, she worked really well in this.
Christina Ricci as well. But Pugsy didn't really do much.
He never does, even in the cartoons and like the
No, but like even in terms of a career after this, really, I don't think.
but like that character, even in the TV show and stuff, he has very little stuff in it. He's kind of I would say the more normal one out of all of them, but
Yeah,
also not particularly normal either.
they focus sorry, excuse me. The cartoon one focuses a lot on him,
Yeah,
which was good to see.
yeah, because he is kind of always the forgotten character. The only one that's a bit more forgotten
Yeah,
is probably the mother.
Morticia.
No, her
Oh,
mother.
the granny.
Yeah, like the granny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she just
uh,
lives there. She's like a little
yeah.
witch.
She kind of she's there, but she gets very little. Lurch gets very little in this film as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Lurch in this doesn't actually even have makeup on, but it looks of it.
Yeah,
Your man
uh,
Carl striking and
yeah. It's done. He's done very well. But as like we said, it opens with that Christmas scene. But the next scene is the clock. That clock is just so good.
Did you notice he's 100% motorboating her in that clock?
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's what makes it so funny. Like,
Yeah, I was watching it there and I was like, oh shit, I just forgot about that.
yeah, and it sets the scene very quickly of what their relationship is like because they are very overly affectionate towards each other.
Yeah,
Um,
and I probably don't even care, to be honest.
no, they don't. Like you can see it even when they go to like late. We'll jump forward a little bit when they go to that auction.
Yeah,
Like you can clearly tell, like everyone else is really uncomfortable and they're just having the time of their life. Like,
two of them are basically just shy of being on the job.
yeah, well, it kind of like it pans away with it just like people looking more and more uncomfortable. So you've no idea how far that went.
It's pretty good though the way he's done it. He's like
Yeah,
they don't care what anyone thinks.
yeah, he plays his part brilliantly, and so does she. Like,
Yeah. Well, like if like even though I know they done a 95 or 96 version with Tim Curry.
no,
Tim Curry's a great actor, but he didn't do it.
not as well as Raul.
Raoul,
No,
no. He
um,
will always be
yeah,
Gomez Adams.
I think so. Yeah, it starts out pretty well. Just tells you the basic plot line. Fester's missing for the last 25 years, and they're constant. Like they try and contact him every year.
What a seance, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I thought it's done really well in this is Thing, the hand.
Yeah, oh, it's brilliant in
He's
this.
done very well, like considering this is 91.
I'd say that was a green screen the whole way along.
Oh yeah, it is. Like you can tell it is, but it's done very, very well nonetheless.
I love when you see him the first time he's on top of the piano, he jumps down, he's running across the floor, and then he realizes Gomez is standing there. And it's
Yeah.
like he hits the brakes.
It's so good. And like even when you see him like later on when Fester comes to the door and he's like scurrying towards the door and stuff, he's done so well in this.
Yeah.
But we see their lawyer Tully come over.
Well, like even what I love here is where he's fighting with the gate.
Yeah, they can't even, just the gate has its own personality and stuff.
It lets the wife in. It lets
Margaret in.
Yeah. No bother. Off you go.
Yeah, and then just bites at his jacket and stuff.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But when he gets in and they have the sword fight to start with, and like,
well, you find out here that he's broke.
yeah, but like they go in, they have this sword fight, and Tully doesn't even react. So you're just like, wait, is this how every meeting? Like, is this how every meeting starts? Because he doesn't.
Yeah, the sword flying into the door beside him, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, okay, I'll pick up this sword and I'll fight you. So no bother.
Yeah.
Now he loses quite spectacularly, but
Badly.
yeah, he's definitely not the winner in this one. But he tells Gomez he wants him to invest $1 million in this offshore account that's going to be in his name, so it's no big deal.
And it's not traceable.
Yeah, and you're just like, this dude's just trying to fleece £1 million here.
He's got to do it as well. Gomez says he'll sign up to it now, but because he put it in Fester's Fester's trust fund.
Yeah, Gomez is all up for it until he realizes, oh no, wait, no new business until next quarter.
Yeah,
only old business.
Yeah, he can't do new business until next quarter.
Yeah, and I like this that he goes off to, get the money. Yeah, he goes off to his vault to get the money, and he comes back, and we learn it's just like gold doubloons. It's not even actual cash.
Yeah, it's a big briefcase. And you see him weighing it out.
Yeah,
tossing it in.
It's so good. But while all that's happening, his wife Margaret is off with Morticia, and they're talking about this charity auction, and they show her the finger trap,
the Chinese finger trap from the Chinese Empire.
Yeah, and then they're taking stuff out of the
out of the closet. It's brilliant.
Closet, and it's like it's Christmas suit.
It's Christmas clothes, yeah.
Summer clothes.
Uncle Lulu.
and she's just like, wait, he's just in there as well. Hang on.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
No, it's so
and
good.
it's all simple comedy as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all just really simple. Here's the joke, really easy setup, and the punchline is really easy as well.
I'll tell you what though, Christina Ricci's brilliant in this as Wednesday as well.
Yeah, she's very good.
Even you only see very little of her up until this point, but like even where she comes over and she just unlocks the finger trap and things.
Yeah,
she just looks like that weird kid in school, doesn't she?
Yeah, and that's what she is,
Yeah.
But Tully goes back to his office and he's accosted by somebody that he owes quite a bit of money to.
Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail and Gordon, who like even from the start, like you can tell that Gordon is Fester, like because you're just like this kid is not normal looking, you know?
Yeah. And it's like when he picks him up and he holds him by the throat, he just turns him upside down. And you're like, what is
Unnatural
going
strength.
on?
You're like, whoa, there's something up with this lad now. Hang on.
What's going on here?
But it's when he has him like pinned down, ready to teach him a lesson, that Tully realizes like, geez, this guy looks an awful lot like that picture of Fester.
I love how he looks at him, and then you see his like, go,
Fester?
we're in.
Yeah, and then they hatch this plan where they're going to go in, and he'll go in as Fester. They'll steal all the money
And go.
and then they'll leave with all this money. And when Tully leaves, Abigail and Gordon are like, and we'll just pin it all on him.
Yeah, he'd take the blame.
Yeah, great. Like, they're just common thieves.
Tully is the world's worst solicitor.
He's the worst worst at everything. Like, he's not good at anything he does, it seems.
Dan Hedaya is brilliant at brilliant actor though.
Yeah, no, he plays the kind of bumbling buffoon very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is another thing we've said countless times, right? If you have a niche that you can do,
keep
stick
doing
to it and go to the well as much as you can.
Yeah, but they perform the seance, and I love this bit that Margaret and Tully go up to help them perform the seance.
Yeah, it's real weird though, isn't it? It's like,
but they're like, everyone hold hands, and then the grandma and Ting play the trick on Margaret. She's like, oh, you've got a strong grip.
It's just Ting, they use Ting sparingly in this, but so well when they do.
Yeah, it's everything he does is just so good.
Yeah.
And he's probably used quite sparingly because it's probably quite difficult to.
I'd say that. I'd say whoever's hand that is was sore.
Not even just that. I'd say like graphically and the cost of actually doing that back then was probably a lot higher than it would be now.
Yeah, I'd say so. But like again, same as the likes of Jaws now. When you use things sparingly, it works better.
It does, yeah.
Now, I'm not comparing this to Jaws, but the same principle.
No, but like the idea of less is more sometimes.
Yeah.
But they have Fester come back, but it's obviously Gordon with a shaved head.
And even his hair when he's Gordon is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I love when he comes back though. Like, and they come in and they welcome him home and everything, and they're looking through his like travel. Like, I was gonna say bag, but it's not. It's like a chest.
Yeah, he brings his case with him.
Yeah, but
literally a case.
Yeah, and it's full of dynamite, cyanide, a crowbar, all this stuff. And he's obviously really nervous because he's like, oh, they're gonna suspect something weird is going on. And Morticia's just like, when she sees the cyanide, she's like, we'd never run out of that. Like, he's real nervous, but they just think all these items are super normal.
Yeah, well, like Pugsley is supposed to be the one that loves dynamite and things.
Yeah, and we do see that a little bit later when he's showing them how to actually make dynamite and bombs and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's just how he's like, okay, this is all the stuff to rob their vault, and they all just think, yeah, this is normal stuff. This is what you'd be carrying around on a normal day.
You have to wonder why you'd need cyanide.
Well, it's to kill them, obviously,
or himself if he gets caught.
Yeah, but it's so weird that they're just like, yeah, that's how this would work. But he gets brought down to the vault straight away by Gomez.
Yeah, the trust is there.
Yeah, and I love that they're like, what's the combination? 2, 10, and then he has to guess, and he's like, 5. He's like, you've been in the Bermuda Triangle for too long. It's 11. 2 eyes, 10 fingers, 11 toes. And you're like, hang on. Why is it 11 toes? Do all of them have 11 toes?
Well, you can't imagine they do, because one of them can't be related to the other one. Well, they could, but
no. Well, Gomez and
Fester are.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, because it's their password. The two of them came up with it. So you're like, does everyone on that family just have 11 toes? Why is that a normal thing to them? Like, that's how they count: 2, 10, 11.
I mean, whatever.
They're a weird family, so maybe they do. I don't know.
Don't pull the chains.
Yeah, I do like that the kids don't believe it's Uncle Fester at all. Yeah, Wednesday doesn't believe him because she's obsessed with
not having.
Yeah, well, she's obsessed with the Bermuda Triangle, which is meant to be where he's been living for the last 25 years.
Yeah, he went down on a plane or something, didn't he?
Yeah, and she's having none of it. She's like, no one survives in the Bermuda Triangle and gets to leave. So how are you getting out?
and coming out with a chest of stuff.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, it's sometimes you can just do it. I love that there's just a scene here with the electric chair where she's like, Pugsley, come sit in this chair. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's about to be electrocuted, and Morticia comes up and goes, what are you doing? I was just going to electrocute him. And she's like, no. And you're like, okay, yeah, obviously motherly instincts don't electrocute your brother.
Turn it up full.
She's like, we have to go to the charity event. We don't have time for this. And Pugsley is like, no, please, please. She's like, oh, okay.
Whack.
That's so good, isn't it?
It's as I said, it's simple comedy and simple punchlines, simple setups.
And like you don't see him get electrocuted. You just, she flips the switch and you're like, yep, he got electrocuted. And he walked
did.
away. He walks away fine. No bother to him.
They should have had his hair really spiky and things.
They probably should, but like the next scene is the charity auction where they're bidding on their own stuff.
Yeah.
And they buy it for 50K. You're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's the two of them bidding against each other.
How they're loaded as well.
Yeah, your man opens the bidding at like what? I think it's
was it 5K?
5K, and she just goes 20K. You're like, wait, nobody bid against you. You could have just said the 5 there.
The two of them are there, and they're like
one-upping
against each other, and they're like end up riding basically.
Pretty much, yeah. But when they're on the way home, Fester mentions that he doesn't know how to unlock the finger trap, and that kind of tips Gomez off because he's like, he wore that finger trap for 2 years.
Yeah,
mother had to teach him how to like cut things up with his toes.
Like, would it been that way?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have been able to get to it anyway.
Yeah, but he didn't even know how to unlock it, but he wanted to wear it for 2 years, I think, is the thing, because he gets it for his birthday. So obviously he knows how to unlock it.
Yeah.
But
he has been in the Bermuda Triangle for 25 years,
Yeah, but Gomez gets a little bit suspicious because there has been a few things where he's like, oh, you didn't know about this, or
the code.
The code. And he's tried to play along a few times where he's discussed about the where they got sent to the camp where they're in the cages and stuff. But it's all a little bit, it's starting to add up that this guy just doesn't understand the family.
Yeah, it's just you can tell it's just someone coming in.
Yeah, but they come up with a plan to have his mother be the counselor and just convince Gomez that oh no, what you're doing a displacement thing. You love him, but you hate him because he's been gone. So you're projecting, and he just accepts that, and he's like, yeah, no, she's right. It must be Fester.
The professional's telling you, so must be right.
And I mean, he does start fitting in, doesn't he?
He plays it very well. He starts to buy into it, and it's like the old memories are coming back.
It is, yeah. Like you see him kind of when the kids are doing the play fighting on the stairs, and he's like, no, you would aim for here, like you would aim for the jugular, and then you see them reading the book, and he's making dynamite with the kids and stuff out in the front garden.
It's like that little montage scene where the bad guy becomes good.
Yeah, but you can see here that he doesn't know why he's doing all of it, but he knows all of these things, and there's no reason he should know them.
Yeah, well, if you're a normal human,
you don't know
being abnormally strong. Yeah,
like you wouldn't know all that. So like you can see from here that this probably, like, you kind of get the inkling of, I think that is actually Uncle Fester, but there's something going on here.
Yeah,
because he's enjoying the life with them too much.
And then she calls him out to the house and all, or out to the motel, and
and she's kind of like, you need to get a grip here. Like, don't forget, you're not there to have fun. You're there to steal all their money.
It's like the way Christopher Lloyd portrays it, where you can see that he has no idea, and then all of a sudden it's the small things he does.
Yeah,
it's the way the script is written, but the way he does it probably makes it better.
Yeah, I think like there's a serious acting skill in
playing two different people,
doing that transition of I don't know why I understand all this stuff and why I fit in with this family so well, but I do. And he does that very well. Like, because when he's with his mother as Gordon, he's like, yeah, no, I hate them and all this. But the second he gets back to them, you can see that's gone in his mind. Like he goes back to being Fester.
Yeah,
and he does it so well. And then they go to the school play, and he's like, no, I'm going to stay back.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang around.
the plan is for him to rob the vault that night.
What happens? Rob the motherfucker from the inside.
But he obviously ends up going to the school play, and we see Morticia get meet Wednesday's teacher, and she's like, yeah, Wednesday brought in a picture of her great aunt getting burned at the stake. She's like, yeah, that's right, yeah.
That happened.
Yeah, and she's just like, but don't worry, I told her college first. So yeah, you're okay to get burned at the stake, but just make sure you've gone off and done your studies. That's the most important bit there, isn't it?
Well, what is she? She's only about 12 in this, is she?
Yeah, she must be like 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. Like they're still in primary school and they're doing their school play.
Yeah,
And
they do it very well. And
the
then
blood scene is so good. Like just sprays the front row.
that's it. That was a Tim Burton blood scene all over, wasn't it?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
he has nothing to do with it, but
Yeah, like you said earlier, like it's very similar in the style. Like let's just spray blood absolutely everywhere here.
Yeah, Sonnenfeld and Tim Burton had that similar style.
Yeah, but it goes all over them, and everyone in the audience looks horrified except for Fester and the rest of the family, Gomez and Morticia. Yeah, and Lurch is there as well.
Lurch goes everywhere. Lurch is the driver.
Yeah. I'd feel bad for whoever was sitting behind Lurch though. No way you saw anything. But it's just that front row.
I'm not telling them to move. Yeah. It's just not happening.
Yeah. It's just the front row that gets, the front two rows get covered in blood, and it's you can tell, Tully is there, and the judge that lives across the road from them. You have to
wonder why Tully's there.
Yeah, I know.
And the judge, okay, I can kind of understand, because probably back then the judges were revered in small towns.
Well, also, like, you can assume that he had, like, the judge had children and stuff, but Tully kind of makes a point that he doesn't have children.
Yeah.
Or does he? I don't know. Does he actually mention that he doesn't? But
he kind of thing, like, it's only the two of them, so.
Yeah, you kind of get the idea that he doesn't. So you're like, why is he there? But the one thing with the judge is that we've seen a very Happy Gilmore-esque shot from Gomez a little earlier, and it looks like he does this constantly, just smashes the ball through his window.
Just keep the ball. I have a bucket full.
But it's apparent he's doing this, quite consistently as well. Every morning I'll smash a golf ball through that lad's window
while he's eating his breakfast.
Yeah. You think he'd just stop repairing the window, but no.
Well, no, because it's probably cold.
Yeah, but put a piece of wood or something there. Like, if he's gonna smash it every morning, stop repairing it. Just put a piece of wood or something there. Get rid of that.
True. Unless it was just a smasher of a shot.
Yeah, but we do see later that he has a ton of golf balls to give back to him at the court case. So I think it's happening quite frequently. But we see, they get back, and Gordon's mother has been caught by this vines sort of thing, and wrapped up in them for the night when she went to the house to try and
the ivy thing.
Yeah, she tries to steal, and Lurch frees her in the morning, and she comes up. I like that she comes up and she's just she's like, don't forget now, Fester, we need to be leaving tomorrow. You have to go back to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, she's supposed to be just
she's meant to be the person who, she didn't find him, but she was left in charge of getting him back to visit his family.
Yeah, the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But they make the deal that, don't forget, you have to go home, and then they have a private meeting, and she's like, stop having fun with them, and we need to rob these people and get out of here soon.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, no, I will rob them. Definitely.
It's not going to happen, pal.
No. But then they have their the going away party that Morticia organizes.
In the space of a day.
Yeah, I love the your man playing the saxophone, but it's a snake. That's so good.
Some of the camera work he has, he does it in Men in Black as well. In terms of the way he films certain scenes, like there for that scene, and even in Men in Black, where you see him, he uses animals quite a lot for certain things. Like, obviously the opening scene to Men in Black is the bug.
Yeah.
He uses animals to portray the way he wants to film.
Yeah, it's just things. Like the snake is just so good, because it's like, what way can I make the band playing music seem kind of
creepy?
Not even creepy, but just, odd, because the family is odd. It's like, well, let's just make the saxophone a snake.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a snake. Like, it's not even shaped like a saxophone. It's just a snake.
He's just blowing it. Yeah.
Yeah, blowing through the tail, and its mouth is open.
Don't want to know where he's blowing from.
But I mean, again, very very simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Something
That's
different.
what it is. There you go. But this is when Wednesday learns that for definite that this isn't Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
And I love the little chase scene, because she runs into one door and he goes to chase her into it, and you think you're gonna get that old British comedy skit of people going through, yeah, but they don't.
Scooby-Doo one.
Yeah, but they don't even fall into that. She just runs away, and you're like, oh, she just got away.
She's gone.
Yeah, and he comes back and he's like, yeah, I don't know where she is, so I'm gonna go up to the party.
Well, sure, why not? Might as well go to the sesh,
Yeah, but he goes up and then they do the mamushka.
Yeah, so even they do that in the newest one, the cartoon as well.
Yeah, but like you can see again, you see the idea that this is ingrained in him somewhere deeply because there's no way they've practiced this dance, It's just let's do the mamushka dance, and he just knows it. So you can see again a part of his old life creeping.
His subconscious is starting to come back.
It's creeping back into him, even though he doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah, well, this here, like a lot of people would, Chris, as I said, we said it's Christopher Lloyd. Like a lot of people wouldn't even know it's Christopher Lloyd.
No, it's probably the scene after this when he's on his way back after the mamushka, where he's like dancing on his way back to the bedroom. That's very
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, like the way he moves his hands and the way his body moves, you can kind of get it.
The voice, like if you were to look at this now, it's the voice that tells you.
Yeah, true. The voice would give it away as well. All right.
The bald look and the pale and the black eyes didn't really do it, but like
you always think of Christopher Lloyd as quite a
skinny fella,
slim as well, and like Fester is not fat, but he's bulky. Like
well, he did turn Gordon, or he did turn Tully upside down.
Yeah, like he's a big beast. Like
I'd say it was more of a suit though. I don't think Christopher Lloyd put on that much.
No, he didn't. I think it is a suit, but when he's on the way back, we see that Tully has gone over to the judge with an idea of how to get rid of the Addams family, because the twins told him that now the Fester's back, he'd be the
rightful
owner.
heir.
Yeah, he's the rightful heir because he's the older brother. So the judge agrees, and they when the family go looking for Wednesday, by the time they get back, the gates are barred, and they've been told they have to stay away from the house. A restraining order has been put in.
Yeah.
And when they appeal it, then we see the judge with the golf balls and says, I rule in favor of Fester. And
well, it probably would be the right way to do it as well, though.
It would, yeah. Like he is doing the right thing, but it's when he picks up the golf balls and he goes, here, don't forget these, and you just see how many golf balls have been smashed through his windows.
Yeah, man must own the window company at this stage.
Yeah, no wonder he's pissed off with this Addams family,
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't you be? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have to go live in this like shoddy little motel.
It's the motel where Gordon and I were staying.
Yeah, but like they're now staying there instead. And
the whole switcheroo.
I like that. This is when Wednesday and Pugsley are selling what's meant to be, lemon, like just like a lemonade stand, but it's on fire. Or well, it's not on fire, but whatever it is, when Lurch drinks some of it, he burps out this massive ball of fire. Like
Lurch is king, though.
Yeah, but then the little girl scout comes up, and she's asking, "Is it real lemons? Is it real this? Is it real?" Like, because I'll only drink if it's real lemons. She tries to cut a deal that she'll buy some lemonade if they buy some Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
But it's the line from Wednesday, just like, and I know it's obviously written, but it's just the way she does it. She's like, "Are they made from real Girl Scouts?"
It's the serious nature of it.
Yeah, it's how quick it's said, and like I know it's obviously written, but like it's the idea is that
it could be written, but you still have to execute it on time.
But like she executes it straight away. The second your one stops talking, she hits her with that line. You're just like, classic.
Yeah, genius. It's probably one of the more well-known lines from this.
Yeah, in terms of quotable lines from this film, there's not a whole lot. That's probably the only real quotable line from this film.
Is it made from real Girl Scouts?
Yeah. But we see that like both Fester and Gomez are a bit depressed. Like Gomez is completely depressed. Like he won't even leave the house and stuff.
Yeah.
And Fester, you can see, kind of he's not enjoying being in the big house trying to get into the vault. Yeah. He's
Pull on
kind of
the
just like,
chains and all.
he's like, maybe we should just let them come back. And they're like, no, you idiot.
Yeah, now we have the free run. We have the chance to get into it.
Yeah, and they keep not being able to get into it.
He keeps pulling the chain, ending up in
The sewers, yeah.
God knows where.
Ugh. But this is when Morticia decides she'll go visit Fester to see what's up, and she obviously gets caught, and they begin to torture her on this wheel, but she's just loving it. She's like, yeah, this is grand.
If that's what you're into, yo.
Well, that clearly is because
Anything in that house isn't gonna phase anybody.
yeah, but like the thing runs back and eventually gets to tell Gomez, oh, they've got Morticia.
I love Thing here. He's just banging on the table. He's like,
yeah, he does more. It's Morse code essentially, like because he can't work it out any other way.
Morticia.
Yeah, he's like Morticia. What?
Out with it, man.
But they eventually show up at the house to save Morticia, and you can see Gomez is like, oh, hot fire pokers, and the whatever the name of that machine is, like, and the two of them are, yeah, she's just like, calm down.
Oh yeah, you can tell he's getting a bit of a rock on.
Yeah, you can see that she's not phased by it, and neither is he. They're just like, yeah, this is normal.
This is just foreplay.
Yeah, and like that's what you get from them. But we see the Fester finally turns on the rest of them, on his mother and on Tully, and he takes out he goes over with Gomez, and as they're about to open the vault, he goes, now, no funny business, Gomez. That's the wrong book. Even though Gomez is going for Greed, which is the correct book.
Yeah.
And he takes out the one about the hurricanes.
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Gone with the Wind.
Oh no, sorry, Tully took out Gone with the Wind and it blew his face off.
Yeah, and then Tully opens the sun, like something in the sun, and he's like relaxing with that earlier.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like that's definitely where the Goosebumps movie got its idea from.
Yeah, definitely. But this is where he picks up some book about a hurricane, and they're like, don't open that. They're not just literature. And he's like, oh, I know.
Whack.
He opens it, and it's just like this hurricane comes flying out of it, and him, Tully, and the mother all get kind of swept up in it. And
see you later, bye.
Yeah, like this, and Gomez frees Morticia, and they get the house back.
He's nearly riding her in the process.
Yeah, what I like is though that you do get to see the lightning bolt kind of hit Fester in the head while they're swirling around. And then it just cuts to 7 months later. That's it.
He's normal then.
Yeah. Well, back to what Uncle Fester. Back to what you expect from Uncle Fester. I don't know if you'd consider it normal, but like normal in the Addams Family, I suppose. But it's Halloween here, and we see Pugsley has dressed up as Uncle Fester.
Yeah, it's such a good costume too.
Yeah, and then we see obviously Margaret is now with Thing. Or with Cousin It, sorry, not with Thing. She's with Cousin It.
Cousin It.
Yeah, Cousin It's very good in this. And they're like, people kept asking him where he got his costume. It is a fantastic hat.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just simple again.
That's clearly not what people mean, but
you don't even see Cousin It really other than the seance at the start and then that.
It's not it's at the party you see.
Oh, sorry, the Mamushka, yeah.
Yeah, the Mamushka party. But like after that, you don't really see him, and then he just shows up, and him and Margaret are now in this relationship.
Yeah, but one hairy baby.
Yeah, but I like that. They're like, let's take a picture of Uncle Fester, and he puts the light bulb in his mouth, and it lights up because obviously he's been struck by lightning. So that's what's going to happen to him now.
He's now electrically charged.
Yeah. But they decide they're going to go play a game, Wake the Dead, which is where they go out into the garden where all the family is buried and dig them up.
Which has been done loads of times, as you can see, because none of the graves are.
Yeah, they're all disturbed.
Yeah. You're like, Jesus.
But as he's on the way out, like we get to see that, he's back to being Fester, and he flips Gomez over, and he's like, do you want another one? Which, like it just shows that they're back to being the way they were as kids.
Yeah, it doesn't really explain too much as to what happened to him.
No, you see, they don't really explain whether this is actually, like, they never actually say if this is actually Fester or if the family have just accepted well, he came in, acted like Fester, and now he seems like Fester, so we'll just let him.
Well,
But
I think it's supposed to simulate when the lightning hit him.
they do say that, he remembers that he was kidnapped 25 years ago. But then you have to wonder how they made him forget all of his memories from previous to that.
Yeah.
So they don't really like. I think it is meant to be Uncle Fester, but they don't flat out say that it definitely is.
Oh, I fully believe it's meant to be.
Yeah, and I think it's quite obvious by how much he knows about certain things that he
Yeah.
shouldn't know about, that it
But
is
like
him.
again, they run the thing where they could go for the second one and be like, oh, it's not actually him.
Yeah, and what I like is that even at the end of this, they do set themselves up for another one, because Morticia takes out the knitted baby grow
Oh
with
Jesus, yeah, the
with
spiders.
I don't know if it's meant to be a spider because it's just 3 legs on it. So I don't know. Does the baby have 3 legs? Maybe.
She's thinking. I think she's thinking. The other way, she has the long dress, and everyone's like, oh, it's only one leg.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But it's very good, and they just end there. They're all just out enjoying themselves, just digging up their dead relatives.
As you do.
Yeah, grand, good old time. It's such a, like, as we said, like at the start, I think 60 to 70 is probably a fair rate, and there's nothing spectacular about it.
I'm
But it's a
surprised. I'm
very
generally
enjoyable
actually
one to sit down and watch, isn't it?
the fans one. I thought might have been a little bit higher. But I thought the critics one would have been way lower.
See, I think if you're not into this style of, accepting that, yeah, it's dumb, senseless comedy. If you're
Yeah.
not into that, you're not going to like it. So I can understand some people aren't into this.
Yeah.
Especially like a newer generation. I don't think they'd be as into this as
Yeah. Like
we would have
my
been,
dad hates this. He used to love the Addams Family show.
Yeah, and the
And
Addams Family
he
show is a bit
hates
different to this as well. Like it is quite different to this in certain ways as well.
like even the second one of these is the exact same.
Yeah, it's just dumb comedy. You sit down, you watch it, and the thing is, you could sit down and watch this with the kids. There's
Yeah,
nothing scary in it.
kind of one of those younger horror
Yeah,
/ comedy shows.
yeah, like it's not particularly scary. Like the whole reason that this is kind of a Halloweeny one is just because that family is particularly weird. Nothing else is particularly weird.
Yeah, it could that like generally it could be any kind of a movie really. You could
Yeah,
set it
like
as Halloween. You could say, yeah, well, there's Christmas in it.
yeah, but like they're just like this all year round. Do you know what I mean? So it's not
Yeah.
like
It's just a like the Monsters was comedy. This is kind of a spooky comedy.
yeah, like this is like look how quirky and weird and stuff we are, and
Yeah.
that's it. Um,
And then they
but
just play off all the small jokes that come in between. Like
yeah, and it's the family is just done so well. You have like the two kids are just Wednesday is really kind of weird,
yeah,
whereas Pugsley is just kind of like, oh, he seems quite normal, other than the fact that he likes being electrocuted and chase.
having an arrow shot at an apple that's in his mouth.
Yeah, like other than like he looks quite normal. Whereas the rest of them look like they're a bit weird. He looks very normal, but then he's
Well,
just as weird as them.
I'd say Gomez, you could say, looks probably the most normal as well.
Sort of. I don't know. The kind of pencil mustache makes him look a bit sort of
Set,
creepy as well, doesn't it?
yeah, Vincent Price style.
Yeah, like it, and that's the idea of that pencil mustache, is that it does, like, it's meant to be kind of a creepy thing, obviously, and it is, again, I'd say a throwback to Vincent Price, like.
Well, any horror should really,
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you think of that pencil mustache,
yeah,
that's who
100%.
you're thinking of, so it is kind of very much a throwback to him.
Like even when they done Vincent Price in The Simpsons, remember in the
yeah, they have
few episodes the same mustache, yeah.
Yeah, it's always that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as a film, it's an enjoyable one to sit down and watch. If you want to just relax after you've had a tough week or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I just want to put on something easy where I don't need to concentrate. This is perfect.
You could even nearly put it on, like if you come in halfway through it, you can just turn it on and leave it on.
Like, yeah, like the plot line isn't all that important to it.
No.
The plot line is there to have a plot line, but really, it's just a load of weird nonsense happening, and that's what's good about it.
It's a great bit of banter, really. Like I've seen this so many times throughout the years.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite iteration in terms of the films of it.
Yeah, well,
I think this is the best one.
One is definitely better than two.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would say it's better than 3 as well, to be honest.
do you know, I've seen the one with Tim Curry, but I couldn't tell you what happens in it.
No, I'd put this one above the Tim Curry one as well.
Oh, the Tim Curry one was terrible.
Yeah, I would put this above it. This is
Yeah,
probably my favorite iteration in terms of the films. The cartoon one is very good, but again,
yeah. Oh yeah, well, I prefer this over the cartoon.
yeah, I'd prefer this, but I could see if someone said they think the cartoon one is actually better. There probably
Some of the
technically is.
jokes in the cartoon one are probably better.
It's probably technically better, but
Yeah,
this
well,
is
look at
just an
this was
enjoyable, and there's a nostalgia to it, you
this
know?
is 30 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? No, 29 years old.
No,
22
you're
years
now
old.
30,
Yeah,
30
30.
years
Yeah,
old, 91, yeah. Coming up on 30 now.
yeah. Well, when I turned 31,
Yeah, it'll be 30.
yeah.
So you're a year out, Greg. You could have been part of that family, but no.
No, I got stuck. I got stuck with Nowley.
Yeah, old Nolly, yeah. You couldn't have old Gomez as your dad. But that
Gomez
we'll
is
leave
some slick man.
way too slick. But we'll leave it there for this week, and we'll be continuing on with our horror. Well, I'm not horror films, but our Halloween films.
Yeah,
Uh,
could be anything. You never know. You'll have to tune in and see
yeah, but
what we dig out of the vault.
it will be Halloween based in some way, shape, or form anyway. But that's it for this week. So good luck.